Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the GDI Consulting's webinar for SeaPort Rolling Admissions 2, How to Win webinar. My name is Muge Carsley, and I will be walking through the SeaPort contract vehicle and the admission for rolling admission requirements on this webinar. Before we get started, we've got some administrative notes. This webinar is being recorded, and the link to the recording is going to be sent to you within 24 hours. At the end of this webinar, we will hold a Q&A session. So please feel free to send in your questions during the webinar by the chat feature, which is to the right of your window, and we will address them at that time. Also, you can download this presentation by clicking on the link under the File button, which is also on the right-hand side of the panel of your window. Just a quick outline of what we're going to cover on this webinar. We're going to explain the contract, the proposal requirements, the selection system, a win strategy, and of course, as mentioned, we're going to hold the Q&As at the end. All right, so let's get started on the SeaPort Rolling Admissions 2 webinar. Just a quick background on the SeaPort NxG MAC contract. It is a multi-award GWAC. It does have a portfolio value of $50 billion. The competition type is full and open unrestricted. It's got 20% subcontracting goal to small businesses. The period of performance is 5 years base plus 1 5-year option periods. The domains that are covered, basically the services under SeaPort, include engineering services and program management services. This is just a screenshot of our results of the 10-year prime spending trend. As you can see in FY22 for SeaPort NxG, they've had $2.2 billion of spending. The SeaPort vehicle by categories are also shown. As you can see, the highest is information technology. From there, you've got quite a bit of 24% of the funds going to professional services, 7% to R&D, 2% are defense and aerospace, and then you have 1% for shipbuilding and other products and materials, as well as electronic components and parts, where the funding has been used under the SeaPort GWAC. Just general information. This is a GWAC that has been put out by the Department of Navy, the Naval Sea Systems Command. It is a firm fixed price IDIQ, but it does have hybrid cost plus time and materials, labor hour type task orders as well. You will see that gets released under each task order. This is the second rolling admissions to the SeaPort NxG. Estimated value, again, is $50 billion ceiling. Set-asides are full and open unrestricted. Number of awards are unlimited or multiple, we should say. If you're compliant with all the requirements, many companies are admitted. It is a sort of an easier barrier to entry. The contract duration is actually a 5-year base. The draft RFP was issued on February 2. There was an industry day on March 28th. The RFP was issued on April 9th. Proposal submission date is May 16, and the award expected date is September 1. Just a quick timeline, as you can see, in 2023, they did have a sources sought notice. The RFP is issued in 2024, pretty much according to schedule. And the award and the period of performance is expected to happen this year in September. Let's talk about the coverage. So the first services area is engineering services. And this has everything from engineering, systems engineering, safety, process engineering. You've got your software, you have interoperability, test and evaluation, R&D, modeling, RMNA, and, everything from inactivation, disposal, biochemical. They've got 12 subcategories under the engineering services. Under the program management services, we have everything from financial analysis, budget, QA, functional and direct programmatic administrative support. You've got professional development and training, analytical and organizational assessment, database administrators, public affairs, logistics, configuration management, information systems development, IA support, IT support, and computer systems analyst. Let's get right to the proposal requirements. Very important that a prerequisite for submission of offers is you have to immediately register into the SeaPort NxG portal. They do give you step-by-step instructions and the link in the RFP. Once you're in the system, you will then be able to upload your proposal. The volume structure, they did provide us naming categories that all of your documents must have in order to be compliant. And we're going to do that for every form, attachment 2, that has to be completed. The first one is the System for Award Management Certification, which is attachment J2. The Pre-Award Accounting System Questionnaire, which is attachment J3. Contractor Information, attachment J4. And for the technical proposal and supporting documentation of experience, you're going to have your cover letter, the signed SF-33, technical proposal, experience supporting documentation, subcontracting plan, only for large businesses, and then the CAGE non-affiliate certificate if it applies to you. So for the technical proposal and supporting documentation, you're going to need that cover letter here, and it's basically, basically a list of all the documents. It's an enclosure that's being enclosed within your submission, a part of your proposal. Your references, the solicitation number, and all that stuff gets included. You're going to need to put in your CAGE, UEI TIN, your business side, POC information, the proposal validity, which is very important. It's 365 days. And any certificates of non-affiliation to other SeaPort NxG Prime MAC holders. You're going to put your SF-33 here, completing blocks 12 through 18. You're going to sign it and add it to this and upload it. Then your technical proposal. So for this, there is no past performance reference requirement, in the sense of what we know is what a past performance reference is. But what you do need is a description of a recent and relevant experience in one of the services, either in the engineering support subcategories or the program management subcategories. That was in direct support of a Department of Defense contract that is applicable to the DON or to the Department of Navy purposes. So basically, you're going to use one, either from engineering services where you're describing, and it's any of the functional categories or subcategories under it, or program management. The recency here is 10 years. You can go back 10 years. And depending on the functional area that you choose, you're going to take your past performance and you're going to map it to that functional area subcategory that you've chosen. Subcontracts are acceptable. So you could use a contract that you were a prime contractor or you were a subcontractor. For the supporting attachments, as we mentioned, we've got a J2, the SAM certification that you have to fill out. Attachment J3 is the pre-award accounting system. If you already have a DCAA pre-award, audit letter, you just choose A. And if you're gonna, definitely bid on cost plus type contracts, you can choose B. And if you don't plan on submitting or ever bidding on any cost plus contracts, you choose C, basically, in this form. The subcontracting plan, of course, is going to be applicable to any large businesses that are submitting a bid. And you have to show how you're going to meet the 20% of the total plan dollars. Proposal supporting attachments. As we continue, we also have attachment J4, which is the contractor information spreadsheet. You're going to complete this for any of the proposed team members that you do propose to have on your team. And for every team member, they all have to be registered in SAM, and you're going to provide the information that includes the company name, their address, their cage, they mentioned DUNS, but they really mean UEI, their business size and socioeconomic designation. For the selection process, it's very important that you're completely compliant to the requirements, including the naming conventions, how you fill out the forms, and the technical experience that you provide. Making sure the relevancy and recency is exactly how they requested it. And then very important that if you are a large business, that you do not forget to put in your subcontracting plan. The win strategies. As I mentioned earlier, this is not a difficult, it's a much easier barrier to entry on this GWAC than others. So really, it's very important that on this particular win strategy is you either have the past performance or in this particular case, the technical experience, or you don't. So you want to make sure that you as a company either have this experience needed either under the engineering services or the project management categories. Now, you can use the experience of an individual employee on behalf of the prime contractor. You cannot use any subcontractor past performance for your technical experience section. It definitely has to be at the prime level. No pricing is being evaluated. As I mentioned in form, really, if you have the requirements, then the main thread is not preparing your proposal in the required format and that it is not compliant. So having that compliance review is of utmost importance. You want to pay attention to the details, the format, the content, everything that they've asked for before you upload your proposal. We would recommend that you just do a no-go decision. So look at it, make sure you've got what they're asking for, technical experience. You can definitely put forth 1 to 3 examples of your technical experience along with the POC information that they asked for. If you don't have it, don't waste your time or resources on something that you know that you will not be considered for selection. Just a little bit about our company and how we can help you. Our company has had more than 10 years of solid performance. We have grown considerably. We have 61% growth in revenue, 12% increase in IDIQ and GWAC wins, and a 23% increase in new clients. We have established ourselves as a reliable, credible government, whether it's federal, state, or local government consulting firm. We have a very strong win rate, 82% in the past 3 years. We take on jobs where we have established that our customers have a good chance of winning. And we give the recommendation on, how to win, or we, basically help them come up with a go, no-go strategy. As far as experience, we have more than 50 proposal managers and writers with experience covering almost all of the federal agencies, if not all. 84% have more than 20 years experience in government writing and government proposals. Therefore, we always assign the right proposal manager who has the right experience to your project. In 2022, we boast 162 wins. on multi-million-dollar proposals. The cumulative value of our successful proposals exceed $13.6 million for our clients. The services we provide for SeaPort, we can definitely give you a free consultation. Definitely reach out to us if you want to talk through about your experience and what you think, if you should go forward or not. And if you do, we can give you a full proposal development. We'll give you a dedicated proposal manager and a dedicated proposal team. Proposal managers are supported by a team that does an extra compliance review of your documents. We can support all volumes, cradle to grave, and we will provide full and multiple reviews. Or if you're very confident that you can do this on your own, but you just need a review and just another set of eyes for compliance, we can do that as well. We can give you a proposal manager who will go look at all the documents that you have prepared, create a compliance matrix and run it off against the compliance matrix to make sure that you have properly completed and responded to the requirements. And we can also help you with a strategy consultation if you need that. So some of the business development services we do offer, we do full proposal development. Everything, if it's a self-scoring, we can even help you. If it's a self-scoring type proposal, we can do score assessments. If it's an RFP, full proposal development, again, as mentioned, cradle to grave, we can help you with all volumes, help with your teams, coordinate data calls, what have you, everything from, again, A to Z. We do the reviews, and we'll also help you with staff augmentation. We also have capture services. We provide a dedicated capture manager that'll help you develop a forecast, do a little bit of capture services for you, sourcing, qualification, any type of support you need for capture, forecasting, business development. Some of the support services we provide are helping you with competitive intelligence on an RFP or projects you're going after, black hat exercises, and price to win. And we also do training. We do have customers who will come to us who want their teams or employees to be trained in developing proposals. So we will do every type of training from proposal development and capture management services. For any of our services, please feel free to reach out at the sales level to Marone Freedy. He is our Vice President of Business Development. His email and telephone number is here. Please feel free to reach out to him. We also have for capture services for our technical support app that is also available to support. All right, with that, let's go to take some Q&As. We have received some questions that we can review real quick. One of the questions was, if we're submitting a proposal as a prime, can we still join another team? Absolutely. The RFP clearly stipulates that you may submit one proposal as a prime contractor, but you may be listed as a team member in one or more competing proposals. So that's completely allowed. Okay, the next question is the NAICS code and business size. The NAICS code is 541330 with 47 million business size, except for military and aerospace. What I would like to suggest is please make sure that this NAICS code is already listed in your SAM registration for award. The SeaPort contracting team does verify it prior to award that this NAICS code is listed in your SAM registration. Next question is, please clarify the past performance requirements. So again, it's really technical experience. It's not really a past performance reference, as I mentioned, but you will provide 1 to 3 contracts where you have performed as a prime or a subcontract from either the engineering support services or program management support. That was direct support of the Department of Defense, applicable to the Department of Navy purposes, and it should have been performed within the past 10 years. For example, so You may provide one description of support from subcategory 1, that's engineering, let's say systems engineering, safety and process engineering support, and not one from another program management support. So basically, you need to select either engineering or program management and provide your description of experiences from those subcategories, from those service categories. Do we need to provide pricing for LCATs? No, there is no evaluation of price, cost, or anything like that on this contract. The next question we have is, do we need a facility clearance at the time of award, and is there a requirement to submit a DD 254? No. Facility clearance requirements are determined at the task order level. So depending on the requirement of the task order, sometimes actually the government will sponsor contractors if you did not have a clearance. Or sometimes we have also seen on other SeaPort task orders where it is required at the time of submission. So you do need to have it prior to being awarded a task order. The next question I have is, when is the award expected to be made? Well, if it's submitted in May, the award does show it'll be September 1, 2024. And then my last question is, can we still submit a proposal if we do not have direct Department of Defense past performance? So the answer is a no. So if you do not have experience providing direct support to the Department of Defense or to the Department of Navy, the government advises you to consider become a subcontractor to a prime contract holder in order to gain that experience. So please feel free to continually submit your questions, and whatever we have not been able to answer right now, we will answer them at the end. We will send you an email after this webinar with answers to your questions. Thank you so much for joining our webinar. And again, feel free to reach out to us if you want to just talk about if you should pursue this GWAC contract, or if you have any other suggestions or recommendations or questions or anything where you need help, please do reach out to us for our services, and we would be happy to help you. Have a great afternoon.